What's up, friends? I'm J.Max. Welcome back to my channel. This is J.Max Reax. Tonight I'm watching random and requested videos. The first one is Aubrey O'Day reveals how Dawn started Danity Kane drama. This is an update. Shout out to Kings of R&B for this recommendation. Let's see what they have to say. Oh, it's from Breakfast Club. I think I saw this before.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building. The Dumb Blondes.
Yay!
That's their name.
Yeah, that's the name of the group. Dude, everybody thinks like that. It's so funny.
We're afraid to say it. Yeah.
Dumb blonde, one word.
It's cute. I like it. Blonde. Okay.
So it's like embracing stereotypes, basically.
Exactly.
It's like a slut walk.
Not a slut
version.
Goodness gracious.
So now you guys can't dye your hair any other colors, though. I know you like.
No, we do. It's not about a hair color. It's just about challenging stereotypes. So we actually, the first time we announced it, we had silver hair.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Dumb silver doesn't have the same ring.
Yeah.
How do you prove you're not a dumb blonde?
I think I've been in the industry long enough and been a part of enough things to probably have outlived the dumb stereotype. Yeah. But how do you prove that? By being smart.
Okay, so Y-E-S spells yes. What does E-Y-E-S spell?
E-Y-E-S?
Yes.
Please don't say yes.
Nice.
Oh.
Right. I was gonna say.
Charlamagne's the only one who didn't get it. He was like, yes. Who's the dumb blonde now?
Oh my gosh.
Actually, Envy said, who's the other white girl?
Hey, she's cute, right?
You can't be cute.
Angela, you can say it.
Yeah, she's cute.
Okay, yes, right?
Yeah.
Everybody else came up here. Are you scared?
No, I just never came. No, I'm not scared. No, I just never came up. I don't know why.
You probably feel like you didn't have a reason till now.
That's right. Now you gave me a reason.
Because Danity Kane wasn't around when we had the Breakfast Club.
It was not around, no.
So
You ran into Envy before, though, when Envy was working with Miss Jones, right? You hated that experience.
Yes. I'm sure they
It
did.
was just very.
we all hated it.
It was crazy. Are we looking?
You just did. You started it. It might have been a little crazy back then.
No, it was crazy.
But you guys are used to that.
I don't know. She definitely threw things verbally at us. I don't know about. Did she actually throw something?
Shout out to Jones.
Did she throw things?
Sometimes.
She's one of those.
She's one of those.
She would do something if she had to. A shoe or a sandwich, whatever.
Now let's keep it real. Y'all get buck
Wait, did
too,
you
though.
ever get anything thrown at you?
Me? No.
Okay.
Shannon and Aubrey get buck as well because y'all did used to get a little crazy at times. So you should be used to it. I would think.
Like violent buck or just
I would think, first of all, Aubrey's been through a couple of boot camps because being on, being in Danity Kane was like boot camp. Being on Marriage boot camp was a real boot camp experience. So you got to get used to anything.
Yeah.
And Apprentice. Yeah, she's been through the most.
Apprentice was the craziest one.
Right. That was the craziest, really.
Yeah, in a different way. Yeah.
Why is that?
Well, Diddy is tough in a different way than that show. That show was mentally tough.
Okay.
Diddy was
Physically, get out of bed, do
Other
this.
thing. Yeah, emotionally tough, I guess. I don't know. Yeah.
But
Okay.
y'all was having sex, though, right?
Yeah, so, I mean, every time I come here, you always have to update our, like, on a new news story or something. We gotta get some new
I
guys.
just want to see when you slip up one day and say, yes, finally.
Now, Aubrey, question right now for you. Are you single or not?
I am still dating the guy that you saw me in Marriage Boot Camp.
Travis.
Yeah.
And he writes for you guys, with you guys as well. He co-writes with you.
He wrote on this album, yeah.
That
Along
has to
with
be
Candace Pillay, who did Dr. Dre's new album, American Oxygen, for Rihanna. And Dem Joints did our album, produced our album, and the majority of it was produced by a guy named Radio.
Take us back to what happened to day 26? I thought y'all went back
What the hell is day 26?
Oh my God.
Back when I was in day 26.
Back when she was a black man.
Exactly.
I think these are the two dumb blondes, really.
Stereotypes right
Kill yourselves off. We were last year. We made a little. We took a stab at it, and it didn't work out.
Oh my gosh.
Dawn got into a fight. Dawn said she hit you.
She did.
She did hit you?
Yes,
Was
yeah.
it a punch, open hand slap?
She sucker punched me in the back of my head.
Girl.
She left the room.
I ran out
She ran
like the white girl that I am, and I immediately got on my cell phone and I called the police.
I told her, I was like, I don't think I would run.
I'm from Palm Springs.
Springs, okay? It was drop, stop, grab your cell phone and call the
What did you tell the
police.
police? Though? How'd you describe
Call
it?
the police.
I said her name is
She took
Dawn
15 minutes.
Richard. She likes to say it's Richard, but it's Richard. RICH.
If she's black or white?
No.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I mean, this is the thing. I never, let's clear up some of those misconceptions. Let's do that
Yeah.
because I know y'all got one earful of a story.
Child.
Right.
Yeah.
Well,
But
I
that's-
mean, can I just speak first because I don't ever talk and I have to say
Let Shannon have the mic.
Shannon. Better yet, I talk, but people don't listen. Now you don't listen. No. But for real, like, there's a lot of
Okay, so Aubrey,
misconception.
listen, you
Hey,
He is ridiculous.
how do you spell EYES? And what does that
Go,
say?
go.
Okay, no, but for real, like a lot of misconception about that day went down, and I just want to clear the air that there was no fallout, brawl, like heightened like situation. There was only one person who was acting erratic and cussing and sucker punched one other member, and that was it. That's how it went down.
She got sucker
Because she
punched.
ran out the room and called the cops.
I mean, you have to understand, we've been in business almost for about 12 years as a brand, and even through us splitting the first time, which was Diddy's call, we still maintain relevancy individually in the marketplace. And we've all been up here on our own with y'all,
Except Shannon.
Not
Shannon.
Except Shannon. Shannon did do a project, but it was country, so she probably wasn't going to be rolling through here.
Maybe a lot of bones, probably.
Yeah. But when we came back together, we had hoped that a lot of the things from the past had changed, and they hadn't. And we were dealing with a situation where, if anything, bad habits were now ingrained into everyone. Everybody is at fault in some way or another. Nothing is ever one person's issue.
What did you say to make us sucker
Yeah, you did something wrong.
Really, why we were in there was because there was another situation, another case of manipulation and lying and pushing the solo project over the group. We found out about it, and we were shooting a video the next day, and the information that we had was directly going to conflict with what was happening. So we were all asked to come to the studio and discuss it. We walked into the studio, we started having a discussion about it. She started getting crazy. She was sitting behind me, and I was just looking forward discussing what was happening. Like, look, at this point, this is unhealthy. We're not on the same page. We need somebody to lead us. Like, this is the situation. These are the facts. We're not gonna be able to shoot a video because of what homegirl has done. So can y'all fix this or figure it out? Because Shannon and I don't deserve to once again have to pick up the pieces of somebody's,
F up.
somebody's F up.
So who was going solo?
And then she
She had a solo album.
You did, Dawn.
Dawn was, Dawn's always on her.
She
own
said you
brand.
guys were scheduling all
Please
kinds of
explain
studio
to me.
sessions behind her back and not telling her about it. And
Listen, y'all want to know, like, straight up. I can fly it back 6 years ago.
Answer the question
to the first
about
time that I
that
really learned what it
occurrence.
was. We were in the studio with Diddy. He came out and was like, "Everybody, get on your laptops right now and tell the world to buy your new album." Okay. So all of a sudden, I get a text message from the girl who was a fan that ran my fan page, which was the probably biggest site for all the Danity Kane users because I was in the first round of making the band. So I go downstairs. She asked me to meet up with her. I go downstairs, I meet up with her, and she's like, "Well, you know how there's this name Expithian, I think it was 14 or something like that, that's been on the blogs for the past year and a half that said that you started the rumor that I slept with Diddy and leaked it to Sandra Rose or whatever it was, started circulating cellulite on specifically D Woods, and I called D Woods on the forums a fat N-word.
He was don't got a lot of cellulite.
She doesn't have any cellulite. Girl is fit as hell.
Said you called her fat.
Said this person called D Woods that name. And
Fat.
don't, you guys
Stop it, bro.
this story, please.
Sorry.
So, anyways, those are just like a few of the highlight specials of the nastiness that had been brewed up for a year and a half. And I was always telling this fan, kick them off the site, get rid of them. So all she can do is read the inside computer information, like all the IP addresses, etc., as a moderator. So, anyways, I go down there to some fan that I barely knew a couple times that was running the site, and she said to me, "What's the computer that you just posted to everyone to buy your guys' new album?" And I said, "Well, Diddy came in and he told us to get on the computer. Now I don't have my laptop, so I went on Dawn's. Why?"
IP address?
And she said, "That's the IP address of Expithian."
Round of applause.
So
Dawn.
she was
Then-
using a
Well
code
played.
name to write nasty
So,
things?
so then
Damn it, man.
I was like, this could be some hearsay. You know, I don't know. I needed facts. So I ran upstairs while everybody was on a damn lunch break, typed in EXP, and it was 50 and 14 popped right up in their user box.
Did she say EXP?
So this is the thing, though.
Oh.
Had I told anyone at that time, our group would have been over because D Woods would have never played after that. She would have come out.
Pause. Hold on. So every time I don't like to watch this clip back because they did get back together again. It was all positive and all that stuff. But so I remember these fan sites and blog sites that she was talking about very, very, very vividly. Xpithian was not EXP at all. It was XPIAN. Or no, I'm sorry, I get it wrong. It wasn't an E in there. It started with an X. It was never EXP. To me, I always said in this instance, she diverted the attention and then came up with a lie. About this, I could be wrong. I know some of y'all feel like Dawn is the reason the group is broken up, so y'all ride for Aubrey. I don't really ride for Aubrey or against Aubrey in this instance, but I do think this was a lie. Because again, I just caught that. Like she said, I went in and typed EXP. It was never EXP. It was always just XP. I remember Xpithian 14 vividly because I used to hate the shit that would be said in those forums about the girls. But that particular person, if it was Dawn, that's fucked up and crazy, but I don't think she got that right there because it was never EXP. Maybe a flow of words, I don't know, but either way, continuing.
Real quick, especially after the type of vulgar disrespect that was being spoken about, specifically, usually it was D Woods and I. So at that point, I didn't say anything because I wanted our group to work. And sometimes you have to put business in front of your feelings.
Girl,
After
bye, no.
about 6 months,
You addressed everything
I think,
but
you know,
that?
again, the details of time are, you know, I don't know how much time passed, but D Woods was on a phone call with Dawn. She was trying to manipulate her in some way. And I always stayed out of it because they always have beef. And I stayed out of it.
Pause. Another pause. When did Dawn and D Woods ever... I'm not gonna say when did they have beef. When was D Woods ever capable of being manipulated? D Woods was the smartest one in my opinion. It's not me shitting on them. D Woods was the smartest one. She was the quiet one. She knew how to peep game and bullshit. So, keep going.
I always had beef with D Woods. D Woods did not care. D Woods was fine doing her, always.
Did you ever see
Straight
that?
up.
See these two catty black girls?
No.
Shut up.
No, because we were all catty in different ways. Like, I mean, it wasn't a race thing. But anyway, long story short, D Woods got off the phone and Dawn didn't hang up her phone properly. And she was, again, cursing out D Woods, making slurs, doing all kinds of crazy shit. And D Woods saw it for herself. And then that's when I sat down with D and was like, yo, this is the truth that I've known for a while. This is what we're dealing with. And then, literally, the next time they were in the same room together, they almost fought.
Really?
D Woods went off. Now, and I knew that would happen, which is why I didn't tell everyone what had happened earlier. Dawn left when D Woods confronted her, took off for 2 days, and then came back and said she didn't know what was happening, so she just left and went to figure it out. And then when she came back, she told us that it was her boyfriend that had done it the whole time.
Which one, Quincy?
First of all, no, it was another guy.
They had been broke up, okay?
Oh, listen.
Crazy, right?
If you knew all this about Dawn, why when y'all came back together as a group, why bring her in the group and not D Woods?
No, it wasn't. Honestly, it wasn't even money because we never make any. I mean, everybody else. The first time, listen, the first round, we
You got shit. Now
We were signed to Diddy.
That's all I'm gonna say.
I mean, we have 2 platinum albums, let alone grossed over $1 million on Christina Aguilera's Back to Basics tour's opening for her, and we came off that tour $15,000 in debt. And grossed millions.
That's the sad thing, like that people
Diddy?
know about this business.
Round of applause to you, Diddy.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks, Diddy.
I mean, really.
Diddy is like Mayweather in the iPhone. You know what you're gonna get, but we still keep signing up.
But now you guys are independent though, right?
And that's one of the reasons why we are, because you have to get your business straight. Because
We went to a major. We went through Caroline Universal to distribute the project because we did want a major to distribute it, but all of the creation and every piece of this product up until the point of delivery is us.
And not bad, because you guys were top 10 in iTunes and everything.
We went number 1.
Number
The
one.
top 10 on the overall charts, but
Mhm.
number 1 on the
How did
dance
y'all get
charts.
together?
And we haven't even released the album yet. That's on pre-order.
Wasn't it? There's 5 of y'all, right? That was 4.
There was 5, and then Dee didn't come back.
Dee didn't come back.
Yeah, she
Dawn's not here. What's the other girl? She's married or something, right?
Andrea, yeah,
Andrea.
married,
That's
yeah.
Chubby Cheeks.
Okay.
Rude.
You have to ask the question, but why didn't y'all let D Woods come in the group the last time? Especially knowing that Dawn was doing all the foul stuff.
I actually just met up with Dee to discuss all of this. Dee didn't want to come back. She
Right.
didn't want to come back. She knew what time it was across the board, and she never got along with Dawn, nor I don't believe ever thought she could trust her again.
I can't blame her though. I mean, if somebody did
Honestly,
that,
she was
really hard
right.
to work with her.
She was right.
But how did y'all get together as a group? What
Try to
made y'all
get back
get
together.
So
Make it
after
make
the
sense.
whole incident, we laid in bed and we were like, let's give it a week.
Laid in bed.
She lives with her husband in bed.
Yeah.
So when
Yeah.
we literally were in, when she comes out and works, she was living with me.
Okay.
And then Dawn didn't have a car, so I was always driving Dawn to and from the studio,
Tell
and
all
then
of
Sharon was
business.
always living with me. So it was literally like sacrifice.
Did you and Shannon ever have sex?
No.
Why do you ask me
Scissor?
that? Ask me that question.
Oh,
We've done it.
Have you and Aubrey ever scissored?
No.
I hate
I don't
him,
even
bro.
know if she knows what that is.
I can only assume coming from you what that might mean. So I'm just gonna say no. It's like EYES kind of. Thank you.
So go ahead, y'all cuddling in bed.
We were in bed and we wanted to give it a little bit of time to see if Dawn would come back and apologize and like let it move and
Is that
allow
what she
it.
snuffed you?
Well, TMZ calls me the next day and said we're releasing. We've been contacted by Dawn's rep and we're releasing this story. Do you have a comment on it, or we're running it as is? And the story was like incredibly inaccurate and like spun in a negative way towards Shannon and I. And so basically, I just had my mom, who's an attorney, call them and say you're not running a fake story.
You are no joke on the police. You got your mom calling TMZ.
I know, I'm
Yeah,
such a
nothing
white
goes.
girl, dude.
There's
Straight to
nothing
the
wrong with that.
police.
And you know
straight
how I
to
know?
my lawyer.
You really are a white girl because
You
I'm
know
No,
what?
that's
It's
how I
about
was
your
raised.
business.
I'm about my business. And the thing is, I didn't press charges. I could have pressed charges on her ass and created a lot more problems for her. I didn't press charges because at the end of
You
the
say black ass? Is she
her
say black
ass.
No, she said her ass. She said her
Sure,
ass.
she say black
You are
ass.
so stupid.
Ridiculous.
But all I wanted to do was document what had happened because, like you've heard from the original story that went down 6 years ago, that's what I was dealing with. And when that is what you're dealing with, and it's only gotten worse since then. I mean, there are many stories since then. That was the 6 years ago story. So it's like,
What's the latest one?
I mean, we don't have time. And honestly, we should spend time talking about something else because Danity Kane is so dead, done, and over. It's like, let's move on. But it's just like after all of that, I needed to at least, if she were to spin it or try to do anything, I wanted to have like documented proof that the situation occurred the way it did.
Ridiculous.
Shannon, don't you have better things to do than hang around all these crazy ass girls all the time?
You
And, I mean,
know,
it's
I tell
something.
myself-
Shannon
It gets crazy too. I see you fight too.
No, she does.
Who did Shannon fight?
Who did she fight?
She was right there fighting with you.
Yeah, honestly though, like to be real, I have an older brother, and I said if someone came up behind me and like just hit me like that, I would have turned around. I would have been on it just because my reaction and reflexes would have been defensive, and I was like,
It's either
dude,
fight or
that's
flight
it.
though, especially when somebody hits you from behind.
Yeah, I don't think I would have
Yeah,
reacted the same
right,
way.
please.
What about if somebody slapped their phone out your hand?
Oh, that happened to me too.
I know that's
You said
That was a funny
you
clip.
did the right thing and came wrong would absolutely
Yeah,
kill
you don't
you.
mess with
Exactly.
She
Love
got
it.
up and got out of there.
She really does.
No, she does. She flips you foot down to the foot and she'll kill you.
We should definitely ran there.
And she opened Budweiser bottles with her teeth.
But I was like, I did need
Make me
help,
sick.
like taking it to that level because
Now I
was,
understand
like,
what Tammy said. She said they was filming for 12
Yeah, explain to
hours.
us
She
what
was
happened.
exhausted. They had to keep stopping on marriage boot camp because you were doing all kinds of stuff on your phone. And while she was talking to you, you were on the phone, completely unbothered, not paying attention.
Here's the actual story. We were filming for long periods of time, but during that period of time, Tammy likes to have a comment every 5 minutes. And she likes to comment on everyone else's life, but nobody can have a comment about hers. So it gets to be frustrating when 12 hours have gone by and you're having to hear only Tammy's perspective and no one else's because hers has to dominate the room. So for me, by that time when she started talking about these lie detector tests and did I cheat and could I have cheated and all this shit was like so irrelevant and I was busy putting a tour together for us, doing a bunch of other I was like, let me just put mute ears to her. Let me get her on camera. I don't care.
You also
alive, Aubrey.
Tammy was and will always. She was my homegirl on that show. We were cool. She understands. Like I don't feel any type of way that she hit my phone. It's not how I would have handled it. But I wasn't. I also don't feel like any type of way that I didn't want to hear her talk anymore, and I had shit to do.
Now you also did tell your boyfriend
Damn.
though, according to him, that you were F other guys and Did
No,
you really used to say that
there's
to him?
no,
F
I
other
never.
guys. What do you mean?
No,
You
no.
gotta explain
Here,
the whole thing.
okay,
You gotta see
here's the whole thing.
You tell your man you F another dude.
Here's the whole thing. He was writing me because we were doing.
You
We
said
were,
right, you should
Wow.
right.
You should be like,
Okay.
we work with a lot of other artists.
Oh my
We were
gosh.
working with another artist that was hitting me, like probably past the point of business.
Okay.
And he saw that, and I let him know that. And I said, nothing crazy's going on. I just want to let you know. I came to him, which I didn't even have to do that. And then he made it an issue that was a literally day to day, month to month. Oh, so you're gonna go hook up with him? Oh, so you're gonna go hook up with him? What did you? I'm like, bro. So after like the beat down, after a certain period of time, I finally looked at him. I'm like, listen, if I want to go fuck somebody else, I will. Like, I don't
That's
need
real.
to be here.
Have you cheated on us for real?
No. And so, especially when you haven't cheated and someone's like gnawing you to the bone, that's when you just get like, bro, stop.
I had a homeboy who was going through that with his girl. His girl kept accusing him of cheating, but he really wasn't cheating. And that eventually led them to break up.
That would be
Or
exhausting.
cheat usually is what it
Or cheat,
leads to when you like ride somebody so much.
They don't believe you anyways.
Did you tell your boyfriend your body count prior to y'all getting together?
I don't think he asked, but I'm still on both hands.
Did you tell him about Lupe Fiasco and how Lupe prayed over your vagina?
Allegedly.
I'm not allegedly. She told us.
No, but she told us.
She was off the air, Charlamagne.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
That was a different blonde.
It was off the air, you
No
dummy.
idea what you're talking about.
She said it after the show, and she said, "Don't ever say anything."
I have no
A
idea what
dumbass.
you're talking about.
I don't know either.
After
No.
you did.
I thought Lupe said something about it.
Shut up, Charlamagne.
I mean, really, change the subject.
He said he never comes back up here again.
All right, ladies. So y'all are planning a tour now for Dumb Blondes, and the album
We
is.
just opened last night or next.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it right there. One, because it's freezing and sticking, but two, I think I put my commentary in there where it fits. To me, the story was just. I feel like when you watch Dawn's interview, her story, if it was a story, if it was truth or not, it just felt more true, just because she was able to get through it and she didn't deflect. She answered the question and said, "This is what it is. This is what it was." And we know Dawn to be that kind of person. Aubrey, on the other hand. You know, I remember when this all kind of blew up, I kept thinking to myself, okay, it's definitely a lot of truth in both sides, but there could be lies in both sides. Up until this watch right here, I didn't catch the whole Expedian thing being spelled wrong. And the fact that she literally did not address what happened in the studio. She didn't address whether or not they were there for a meeting that Dawn said was for that was fake. She didn't address that at all and would not address that at all. So if you're deflecting from the actual item that has been exposed to be the reason that this is going down, I'm looking at you sideways, because why can't you explain that? You explained everything else. You laid everything else out there. You aired everything else out that was not even related to that moment in time, but you did not specify whether or not she hit you in the back of the head because y'all was doing foul shit. And that's why it will always kind of stick out to me as just a weird story. And I could be wrong. But when I watched her on the Encore, I'm sorry. We watched Aubrey say one or two things and then go back and say another something, and it was a lie, and it wasn't this and it wasn't that. She was divisive as fuck. So, I mean, Keely was right with that one. So I can't knock it. I've said before, I really would love to know how Dawn maybe felt when she watched her on that show. If maybe it was real life for her or true to experience, but in the meantime, I can't really speak too much of that. I feel like D Woods is too strong-willed of a person to be manipulated by Dawn, or feel like anything Dawn is saying to her is untrue. Do I think some things probably went down between them? Yes. If you watch Making the Band, there is a very awkward energy between the two of them. After a certain point. First album, everything was good. Second album, during the recording season, it wasn't that bad, but you could tell when they all came back to do the tour and stuff like that, something was just off. So I kind of believe that there was friction and that something like that did happen. Now, Aubrey could have flubbed it. Expedian could have really been Dawn. It could have really been something huge. I just don't know. And I'm not going to, speculate that. But I will say bits and pieces of this explanation to me felt like a lie. I don't think Dawn lied anywhere in hers. I think she told the truth. This is what happened. This is what it is. And until she speaks to the other side of it, I can't really say I believe Aubrey that Dawn created that many problems for the group. I just don't see it. I think, that group was not built on a strong foundation, and they were not really meant to succeed. It was for TV. and they kind of, you know, blew past everything and every expectation musically and sonically, and, you know, things just didn't work out in their favor. Okay, I've been talking too long. I ranted, so I'm sorry, y'all. Shout out to Kings of R&B for this recommendation. Let me know what you thought about this below. Comment, like, subscribe. Until next time, peace.